You need to be a dream catcher. You need to write down goals and dreams. Goals are for skills. When you have the current knowledge to make it happen. That's what goals are about. Dreams are about, I'm not there yet, but this is where I want to be, and I'll do what it takes to build a bridge to get there. It's about resolve. How do you develop will? I wrote some very specific notes. How do you develop willpower? If it is essential, and if it matters most, how do you develop it? Number one, stop quitting. Number one, quitting's a habit just like losing is a habit. Stop quitting. Think about the last time you quit something that was meaningful. Church, marriage, some people quit on kids. Stop quitting. Stop quitting. Quitting doesn't relate just to business. It relates to every aspect of your life. If you'll quit in a business, you'll quit on everything. Stop quitting. When you find yourself associating with winners, when you find people trying to pour everything they've got into you in a healthy way, stop quitting. You found it. This is home, Tim Taselli. This is it. Where else do you want to go? Where else could it get better? Where dream catchers are teaching you to catch your own dreams. Point me in the direction where it's better and I'll go with you. It's right here. Stop quitting. Number two, make a personal list of bad habits. Personal, I don't even think spouses should see all your bad habits. Personal means personal. By the way, the road to your final destination, which is not your dream house, there's a bigger destination hopefully you're all headed to. You won't be dragging somebody through there who's not qualified. You'll be going through those gates because you're qualified. So make a personal list of bad habits and begin to attack it privately. People who make their dreams come true have a list like that and they're busy attacking it. While the rest of the world's covering it up and pretending that they don't have bad habits. I'm supposed to be talking to you about being a QMA, but I don't know how you're ever going to get there if we don't talk about this stuff. Is it okay if we stay right here for a minute? Number three, surround yourself with winners. And if you're curious as to what they look like, turn around and look in this room. You're surrounded with winners today. Do you feel the power when you came in this room this morning? Did you feel the energy of the group? When's the last time you felt like that? My grandmother passed away this year. She was like 95. When I go to her church, it feels like that. It's crazy in there. It's full of energy, full of power. This is a different kind of energy here. These are people headed somewhere. These are people with goals, dreams, and trying to develop the skills necessary to make those dreams happen. Surround yourself with winners. If I were to tell you what I believe the number one bad habit is with people who have dreams but never reach them, it's you do not guard your associations because you become like those who you associate with. You fail to insulate yourself with positive, powerful people. You find it easier to gravitate toward those who are like you are now as opposed to those who are like where you want to go or where you want to be. It's just easier to have the person over who forgives all your weaknesses and just you're okay with your jockey shorts on and your feet up on the table and just laying back with a cold one watching a ball game. It's just easier. How about the person that you got to clean the house up before they come over? How about the person who when they come in, they've got your full attention when they're in your home? Those are the people that need to be coming in your home. That's who you need to be associating with. That's who you need to hang with. And by the way, it means you're hanging with less people. It's okay to tell a friend. Now, how do you evaluate? This is important that we discuss this. How do you evaluate friendship? They let me be who I am. What if your maker said that about you? I'm okay with where you are now with no progress. Stay right where you are. You're all I ever thought you could be now. Stay still. So how do you evaluate friends? How do you evaluate associations? How do you measure this stuff? Well, if they make you feel better when you're around them, if they make you reach higher, if they make you set higher goals and dream bigger, you're in the right crowd. I find it funny, but a lot of people, Randall, resist that stuff. A lot of people, when they get around somebody stretching them and trying to point them and maybe course correct, who do you think you are telling me about? Don't accept me for who I am in my jockey shorts and a cold one. See, it's okay to be corrected. It's okay to be course corrected. It means you're doing it right. And by the way, the role for you is to get in a position of helping others catch their dreams, not just catch yours. As I was sitting here listening today to these great, masterful speakers, Mike Lauder and John Thompson, I mean, these are masters at what they do. And they walk the talk. They live this stuff. But it wasn't always that way for them. They learned it, and now they are in the business of transferring it. That's the role for you, Robert. You're in the business of transferring it now. And so as you're taking notes, you may have some stuff that you put in the column that's for you personally, but I hope that you're a conduit to take this special information back to your organization. This is an special invited guest group here. Only licensed people were invited to this meeting. And then we had maybe a handful of others from out of town invited to see what we're doing as a company. You are ambassadors for your entire organization. You represent a much larger group that hopes you're a dream catcher. They hope that you can lead them to their dreams. So if you're still just setting goals, you make a private correction. Make it in this room today. To dream again. To have bigger dreams. Make it privately. Make the decision right in the chair and leave here as a dream catcher. When we came through those gates, or came to those gates, I'll never forget it. I had a little Pretender BMW, and I pulled right up to the gates, and seriously, if you can't write a check for your cars, and you're driving fancy ones, I was pretending. So I was pretending. I pulled right up to the gate, and the guard gave me the full business about, if you don't own property here, you need to whip the thing around. Here's what you need to do. Don't even try to go through the gates. And he really gave me the business about it. And I said, Tiffany, don't worry about it. She goes, let's don't go back. It bothered her. She didn't want to come back. I said, no, we want to live in here. We're just going to have to get somebody to take us in there. I knew this was the place we wanted to live. This was Dream Central for me. And so I remember going back to the business, back to the workshop of my business, and needing to focus in on becoming a great ICT. Because if I could be a great ICT, I could be a great ICL. And if I could be a great ICL, I may get my promotion to QMA. It took me 9 months to go from associate all the way through to branch manager. 9 months. First year I made $288,000. It took 9 months to get to that branch manager position. So I was busy, focused, and I remember checking in. I'll never forget it. It was like one of these defining moments. I was on a golf course, and I met a real estate agent who exclusively sold dirt at Lake Las Vegas. No, there were no homes here. These were all lots that weren't even graded yet. We had to get in a Jeep. Once you come through the gates, it was kind of rough roads. There weren't even, the cul-de-sacs weren't in place, the curbing, and nothing was here. Certainly no Hyatt or Ritz-Carlton, no big infrastructure like this. And the real estate agent said, I'll show you all around. Let's go. And he was just a golf friend. He didn't think I was a buyer. And at the moment, I'm not sure I thought I was a buyer. I was a dreamer. But I wasn't afraid to dream. I wasn't afraid to look at stuff that I couldn't currently afford. I liked it. Remember, I was a pretender. I was driving a pretender vehicle. So he came out, he gives the guard the wave, he knows the real estate agent, we go on through, and I'll never forget feeling this feeling of access to something that I didn't have privilege to before. And I felt privileged. And we were driving around, and he had a price sheet, and all the lots were kind of charted off on a sheet of paper, and he was showing, and every one of them was like crazy expensive. I couldn't believe it. There wasn't a piece of dirt out here that cost less than the home I lived in, with a yard and everything. And I remember, this is my first, I was 29 when we moved in, so I was 26 doing this drive-through experience. And at 26 years of age, I said, well, do they build the house after you buy the land and everything? He said, oh, no. You need an architect. You need to go to the bank. You need to get them to loan you the money to build. I said, that's why there's nobody living out here. That's what I told you. I said, that's why nobody's living out here. That's a lot to do. He said, no, I assure you, there will be people living here. You're just early. And I said, whatever, man. That's crazy. And the golf course was done, and I'm a golfer, fanatical golfer, and I said, you know what? I'd like to play the golf course to make a decision. I just want to play.